Hi, Dirty Girl here with another vintage sales report from eBay and Etsy for the month of August 2017. My Etsy store is at vintagedazzle.etsy.com and the link is below. And my eBay name is Kara Lennox and the link also is below. And let me just get started. I'm going to start with eBay. And this first item is a cloth stripping machine for making rugs. And I got this at the flea market for $10 and I sold it for $45 on eBay. Sadly, it did not survive shipping. Now this thing is made of solid steel. It's built like a Mack truck. And Muffin? Muffin? Okay, we're just going to have to put up with that. She's clawing paper. Yeah, anyway, so this thing is very, very sturdily built, but it arrived in pieces, bent. It was a mess. So the customer was very nice about it. She provided me with some pictures, and I was able to file an insurance claim, and the post office paid right away, so at least I got the money back for it. But it was sad. And this is an autograph photo of a jazz singer and actress named Morgana King. She is most well known for being in The Godfather. She played Carmela Corleone. And it's a little hard to see, but it's that's where it's signed by her. And I sold that on eBay for $24. And this came from a box of ephemera that I bought at the flea market for $10. So that's been paid for now and more. And everything else that I make from that box is just gravy. So that's nice. And this is an original watercolor painting of Prague, Czechoslovakia rooftops. I wasn't able to find out very much about the artist, but it was a beautiful picture. It was beautifully framed. I got it for $5 at the flea market. Very end of the day, guy didn't want to pack it up. It was kind of a big thing. Sold it to me for $5 and I sold it for $35. And finally, I sold this matchbook collection. This was my own personal matchbooks that I collected in the 70s and 80s. From a lot of restaurants and hotels in various towns in Texas, Kansas City, New Orleans, a few from all over the world, I guess. And probably the most interesting thing was this one right here, President of the United States, a seal of the President of the United States. This book of matches came from Air Force One. My first husband was in a group of press people who were covering President Reagan. So he brought me back some matches. So I have a few other books that I kept for myself, but I did sell my big collection. 24 buckaroos. That's it. So let me start here with Etsy sales. And this first one is silver. It's not sterling silver, but it's, you know, close to it. It's a little prayer box necklace. There's a tiny little space inside to put your prayers in. Let's see if I can show you what it looks like inside. It's kind of neat. That's what it looks like as a necklace. It's got a few dents in it. But there's the little lid slides open and there's a little space inside where you can put your thing. Anyway, that I got from my sister-in-law, so I paid nothing for that and sold it for $99. And this is more jewelry from my sister-in-law. It's a big bunch of bangle bracelets. These four on the right are Native American made. You can sell these individually for quite a bit, but there were just so many, and I just kind of wanted to get them out of here. So I sold them as a lot, and somebody got a really good deal. They sold for $48 for the lot. Singly, you can sell them for, I don't know, 18 to 25, around in that neighborhood, maybe even a little bit more. One of them was not in great condition, so. And these are just miscellaneous. That one might be Native American, I don't know. But anyway, that's what I did. And then this is my powder horn. This was an antique powder horn with a scrimshaw design of a bird on it. I just thought it was so very, very, very charming. I just love the little birdie. Look at that. Isn't that sweet? So Victorian looking. I paid $8 for that at the flea market, and I sold it for $125. Oh, and I should tell you that all these prices don't include shipping. I have, my buyers always pay something close to the actual shipping, if I estimate correctly. And what else was I going to tell you? Oh, and these are not all my sales. These are just the ones I thought were more interesting or profitable. Sold this little turquoise and sterling silver necklace, and that sold for $34, and I paid $5 for it at the flea market. And I did sell quite a bit of Native American jewelry. I didn't show you all of it. It was a good month for that. I sold some of my beloved Nippon. I just love Nippon. And it's not a real fast seller, but there are still people who appreciate it out there. Look how pretty these little nut bowls are. They're all hand painted, made from between 1891 and 1921. 4 little nut bowls. I got them for $5. Yes, $5 at the flea market. Sold the set for $34. And this is a bronze sculpture that my friend gave me when she did her clean out. This is by a mid-century artist named, what's his name? Curtis Jere, of a skier, and he's sitting on a giant quartz rock. And that thing weighed so much. It was like 50 pounds. I swear it was so heavy. And I did sell that one for $225. I had to ship it in 2 boxes. Fortunately, the skier was easy to remove from the rock, so because I worried about it just getting, with all these delicate parts, just getting smushed. But I haven't heard any complaints, so hopefully that one arrived okay. And what do we have here? Oh, yes, this is a silver-plated Art Nouveau brooch with a cherub and these beautiful flowers and leaves. When I bought this, it was sold to me as sterling silver, and I paid $10 for it. But when I got home and tested it, it turned out not to be sterling silver. However, I still got a decent price based on just how beautiful it is. I did pay $10 for that and sold it for $36. I thought about complaining to the dealer, but I'm sure she didn't do it on purpose. She's a nice lady. I buy a lot of stuff from her. I'm sure she thought it was sterling. Whatever. Anyway, it did look like sterling. Sorry I didn't get all these things matched up. Here's one of my lovely lacquer boxes. This is a little lacquer pencil box. It's Victorian, paper mache with little flowers, pink roses on it. And I paid $6 for that at the flea market, and I sold it for $38. And here we have, oh, this is a 1930s brass and glass rhinestone or crystal pendant necklace. I said it's probably checked because it's not marked, but it almost certainly is. And it's nice metal work. And I paid $5 for that at the flea market and sold it for $28. I think I added a chain, I'm not sure. And this is a really nice jadeite ring, sterling silver. I guess it was vermeil once upon a time, but a lot of this gold is worn off. And let's see, I paid $5 for that and sold it for $28. pretty good deal for a nice jade ring. And this is an electric mid-century Sessions wall clock, metal with these leaves on it. It's just very, very 1950s looking, I guess. And I paid $7 for that at the flea market and sold it for $37. It's worth noting that I have had this a very long time, so it's definitely a long tail item, but it did finally sell. And this is an item that came from my mother-in-law. It's a Staffordshire flatback figurine. These used to sell for a lot more than they do now. There's actually, I have a photograph, or I had a photograph of this exact figurine that was in the William and Mary Museum. Is that what it's called? In London? Anyway, yeah, it was in a museum just like this. It's from the 1800s, and that sold for $82. Back in the day, it would have sold in the hundreds. But people are not as interested in collecting that sort of thing anymore. And I just included this because it's kind of funny. I got this on a dollar table, just thought it was so cute. It's a souvenir knife from Mexico. It's got this clear lucite handle with this little scene in it of, I think the other side has a bullfighting image, and then on this side is some mountains and a little Mexican man and a cactus. Anyway, I paid $1 for it. I spent quite a bit of time cleaning it up because it was just an absolute mess, and sold it for $17. I was glad somebody appreciated it enough to buy it. And this is a beautiful Native American fetish necklace. It's made with all these different semi-precious stones. It's got turquoise, amber, onyx, coral, lapis, malachite, probably more stuff. Lots of different animals. It's a double strand. I paid $30 for that at the flea market, but I sold it for $125, so, and it sold pretty quickly. So that made me happy. This was one of the best sales I made. Sterling silver graduated ball bead necklace. I got this at my mother-in-law's retirement place. They have a sale every month. People donate items to sell, and they use the funds to, I forget what they do, fund various committees at the retirement home. But this was priced, it was not marked, and it was priced at $4. And I bought it not knowing for sure if it was going to be silver or not, because sometimes they're not, but it did turn out to be when I tested it. And I sold that for $125. And I'm kind of surprised my mother-in-law didn't snatch it up first, because she's pretty good about finding the good jewelry, and she always gets there before me. But I guess maybe we arrived at the same time on that day. So, but yeah, I was really pleased with that one. This is a white linen damask small square tablecloth from Czechoslovakia. It was new, never used, all still crisp and white and clean, still had the tags. Let's see tags on it. Yeah, there's the tag. I just put this in as an example because the white damask tablecloths or the Irish linen, they do still sell. This one sold for $35, and it was just a little one. The bigger ones, especially the Irish linen, can sell for a lot more. And I sold this with some napkins that sold for like, I don't know, $25 or something. So that was nice. That I got for, oh, that came from my sister-in-law. No, never mind. Came from my sister-in-law. So I paid nothing for that. This is a nice glass inkwell with a brass top. Dates, I dated it from 1900 to 1909. And let's see, was it marked or anything? I don't know. That may have just been an estimate, but let's see. I paid $15 for that, and I sold it for $74. So that was a pretty good one. So this is a little sweetgrass basket. Sorry. I always pick these up when I see them because a lot of times they are Native American made, especially if they look like they have some age on them and the weaving is very fine the way this one is. I go ahead and pick them up because they seem to sell on a pretty regular basis, and you can often find them, you know, garage sales and thrift stores for not a whole lot of money. And let's see, I paid where'd it go? Oh, I paid $6 for this, and I sold it for $27, and I actually sold two very similar ones like this month. And this is a 14 karat gold little movie camera tie tack from the 1950s. This came from my friend, so I paid nothing for this. Again, she just gave me a whole bunch of stuff and said, I don't want any money for it. Please just get it out of my garage. So I gladly took it. And I found all kinds of goodies. So let's see. The tie tack I sold for $100. And what do we got here? Oh, a pair of antique glasses. These I paid $5 for at the flea market, and they sold for, where'd it go? $38. These are pretty old ones, mid-1800s. And I'm including this because I found this in someone's trash and rescued it. Actually, there were a couple of carvings that I rescued. This is the first one that's sold. It's, I believe it's Quebec folk art wood carving. Quebec is very well known for their wood carving. And let's see, I paid nothing for it, of course, and sold it for $21. And this is a very lovely Native American ring with a really pretty stone. It doesn't have a lot of turquoise in it, but it is turquoise, and it's just a really pretty marbling effect that the stone has. Anyway, I paid, oh, that came from my sister-in-law, so I paid nothing for that and sold that for $52. And this is another thing I wanted to include because this is, I think, the third or fourth one of these I've sold. They're leather cigar cases. They're made by Romeo e Giulietta. They're, I guess, Italian, and they seem to be pretty desirable because they always sell really quick. I paid $5 for this one. I sold it for $26. And this was a big surprise. This is a Kremens Art Deco men's tuxedo stud set. It had studs and also a pair of cufflinks. And they're in this nice little box. Date from around 1930. You know, Kremens is a good name, and so I was expecting them to go for a nice price. But when I started doing research, I was surprised at how high these go for. I sold mine for $74. Paid $5, sold for $74. Did I miss? Seems like I missed some in here. Oh well, I don't know what happened to them. I had a cute little beaded coin purse that was antique that I bought for $5 and sold for $42, and a cribbage board, a primitive cribbage board that I paid $5 for and sold for $28. I don't know what happened to those. They disappeared. Oh well. Anyway, thanks. We've reached the end of my list, and I appreciate you watching, and the information for my stores is down below in the description. I have links, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I will see you again soon with a haul video. Thanks. Bye.